So, I just got this VHS tape in the mail, and, well, I decided, what the heck, why don't we do a review of it, shall we?
God is my guy. I'm rolling with my ninja Jesus Christ. Satan can suck on my cock tonight. Some yellow nigga just burned my rice. Let's go, Jesus! God is my guy. I'm rolling with my ninja Jesus Christ. Satan can suck on my cock tonight. Some yellow nigga just burned my rice. Let's go, Jesus!
Alright, so let's look at the VHS tape. Oh, it's a thing in the side. Okay, you'll notice right here we've got the VHS tape. Looks pretty good. It's autographed by a reviewer of some kind. Well, what is this? Is this one of those Satanism symbols? Well, I believe it's associated with heavy metal, but well, I did a video on metal music and I've come to appreciate it a little bit, so I can at least appreciate that it's not something like a pyramid with an eye over it. There's the episode's title once again. McGee and Me, take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the ball game, huh? Well, I guess that means this is another baseball-themed episode of The Captivating Christian. And here's a little, I'm assuming it's supposed to be a tagline from the company that made this. Finally, entertainment with the excitement kids love and the biblical values parents applaud. We got the VHS tape right here, and there's this little manual that comes with it. Okay, so this booklet, it basically goes down the plot of the episode. There's a little note from religious professors. This is actually pretty in verse. It breaks down the story, goes down certain Bible verses here. Wow, this is actually really in depth. There's a list of other McGee and Me episodes. Wow, they really put a lot into the marketing of McGee and Me, I gotta say. Alright, so let's actually look at what's on the VHS tape and look at the episode itself. So McGee and Me was a series of videos that were sold around by the company Focus on the Family, the same company that would later go on to fund VeggieTales. And the big selling point of the show is that you would have half live action and half cartoons in the same show. The main character is this young boy named Nicholas and his imaginary cartoon friend McGee, who just kind of shows up to occasionally make some humor, and in this episode in particular, reference commercials.
But not as tough as the payments on my new shimmy truck. And you talk about tough. You ought to see the way this baby handles.
Now, this is my first time watching McGee and Me, so I don't know if this whole parody of commercials thing is like a reoccurring gag, but it just felt kind of odd to me. McGee doesn't really affect a lot of the major plot. It's about Thurman and his baseball team, which is run by his father.
Harvey Stover, the biggest blowhard in the league. He's managing the team we're playing in the regionals.
So?
So, he's the guy who managed the team that beat us last year.
Oh, yeah.
I promise you one thing. Not this year. No, sirree, buddy. This year I get even.
And there's this one player on the team, Thurman, who's really good at baseball. So much so that Nicholas practically idolizes him. Here's where the lesson of the episode comes in. It's about how fan worship is wrong and that we should only worship God.
Nick, isn't it possible that you're so caught up with Thurman as a baseball player that you can't see what he's like as a person? I mean, it's okay to admire someone, but you worship him like he's some kind of idol. If he were nice...
What's being nice got to do with it? Look, you're just jealous because we're about to become regional champs.
I'm not jealous, Nick. That's not the point. God is supposed to be the center of our attention. The one we trust, remember?
I don't know about you, but I think this is a good lesson. It's easily one of the better things of this episode, so that's one of the few things that I'll actually give props for this show for doing, is having a good, holy Christian lesson.
Second base, Nick. And kill the umpire.
That man's right. Kill the umpire. Go back. Slow-mo that footage.
And
that player was safe. That player was safe because he ran on that plate. He was safe. Eventually, it comes down to the day of the big game, and they end up losing.
And now
now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go, and now the air is shattered by the force of Thurman's blow.
And that's the end of the episode. They don't try to do a redo and they try to get it right again. No, they accept defeat.
I've been thinking about how bad I wanted this game. It seemed like we had all the ingredients.
Yeah, especially Thurman.
Yeah. Well, pal, I guess we both learned that when you dream without the Lord, you better dream again.
That's another thing I actually liked about the episode, is that they didn't try to have a corny, sappy, cheesy, hey, let's redo it again and this time we win kind of thing. I'm glad they didn't do that. They actually tried to add some humility and that, hey, we're not going to win all the time and sometimes we just have to accept it. I actually thought that was a good way to end the episode. Because at the end of the day, what's important is that a lesson was learned, that fan worship is wrong, and that the one person we should worship is God.
It's like I always say, it's not over till the bat boy sings. Cause it's a 1, 2, 3 strikes you're out of the old book.
Overall, the best thing about this episode was the lesson. The story could have used some work. The characters I wasn't really invested in all that much. But the biggest strength was definitely the lesson and the moral of that, the one person that you should always be focused on is what God wants us to do, which is something that The Sandlot didn't have. I knew Ariel was going to bring it back to that. No, I don't really care for The Sandlot because of that one scene.
Follow your heart, kid. You never go wrong.
They said follow your heart instead of follow God's will. I mean, what kind of movie does that? Compared to other religious baseball-themed entertainment, this is definitely no Angels in the Outfield, let me tell you. It's nowhere near that good. Maybe I should watch more episodes of this show to get a better feel of it, and who knows, maybe I'll actually enjoy it. I mean, if it's from the same company that funded VeggieTales, maybe I will like it. But overall, McGee and Me, Take Me Out to the Ball Game, it's just okay. That's the best way to put it. It's just okay. I can definitely tell that the person who sent this VHS tape, the person that signed it and everything, is pretty hardcore. Because he signed it Hardcore Kid. And if you've seen my video, Chris Goes Hardcore, the Captivating Christian goes hardcore. You know that I'm a big fan of hardcore things, so whoever sent this VHS tape, Mr. Hardcore Kid, continue being hardcore and may Jesus be with you.